Now, from the pages of Assist News Service, Scott Cramer.
As we all know, there have been a lot of disasters lately, and these tragedies have kept the Billy Graham Rapid Response Team of volunteers very busy. Recently, Assist did a profile on that group's energetic director, Jack Munday. Munday tells us that since 9/11, his group has responded to more than 110 disasters. Munday has a background in sales and marketing in the airline and communications industries. He was on the staff of the group Promise Keepers as a regional director. He spent 2 years working in his own group, helping churches work with men's groups. Eventually, he would be tapped by the Billy Graham Group to help them organize their disaster relief activities. Assist caught up with Munday at the most recent National Religious Broadcasters Convention in Nashville. At that time, he told us that his group wanted to set up a grid of basically qualified areas of ministry based upon who we were as an organization. He says that is where Dare to Be a Daniel, one of the other ministries of the Billy Graham Group, came out of. Another ministry was the Rapid Response Team. Munday also told us, quoting, "For a season we were training and disciplining emerging young evangelists in England and Scotland. We had 2 different groups of evangelists we trained for a period of time. Since then, the Emergency Response Group has had its hands full coordinating relief and counseling efforts. Our hats are off to the Billy Graham Rapid Response Group." Our next story comes from Nashville, where the highly anticipated premiere of the movie The Last Train is taking place this month. According to a press release from Our Savior Lutheran Church there, attendees can expect to be on the edge of their seats as they find out, what if your best friend who just died came back to see you for one last conversation that carried eternal consequences? The writer of the film was quoted as saying, "I'm excited about the release of The Last Train because I believe it can impact our world with a relevant, life-changing message. I think many of us can relate to the main characters and the decisions they face." We are told that the purpose of the film is for Christians to understand how important it is to share their faith with others and for non-believers to begin to comprehend why their Christian friends and family think it's so vital that they accept Christ. The plot of the presentation revolves around a man who is writing a eulogy for his best friend when his friend shows up. The impending conversation will determine whether they will ever see each other again after that night. When the man's best friend returns from the dead, he is confronted with the brutal reality that this really might be the last time he'll ever see him. This is one presentation that finds an interesting way to bring out some really thought-provoking dialogue. Our final story comes from the other side of the world, where Assist has learned that 2 missionaries being helped by the group Gospel for Asia have lost their homes. The loss happened when a violent storm hit a portion of the region. A Bridge of Hope center was also destroyed, and several other believers' homes were damaged. Assist has learned that some small children had to stay outside in the rain because they had no place to find shelter. The group tells us that pastors and their followers are trying hard to cope in the wake of the huge storms that raked through the area recently. Correspondent also writes that by God's grace, no one was injured or killed in the storm. Gospel for Asia Compassion Services teams are now working with these pastors and the believers to provide for their needs and help rebuild their ruined homes. The pastors ask for prayer for the many people facing loss in this disaster. I'm Scott Cramer.
For more on the world of religion, check out assistnews.net and join us here on YouTube.